And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's been a busy couple of days. So, welcome back to the Grade A Fantasy channel. I'm your boy, Grade A Fantasy, here to preview my top plays and picks at the tight end position for the Week 6 FanDuel main slate. Let's get right into it. So, one of the few times, once again, that you see me want to get to the very top options. All three of these guys are viable, but I think he's far and above the rest. There is no 1A, 1B. There is strictly a number one. Then you have Tyler Warren, and with his matchup, Tucker Craft, it is Jake Ferguson. As you can see here, even when CD was there, the volume was okay, but it just blew up. It just basically blew up after CD left. So you can't ignore that kind of value. He is, it's not prime Kelsey, prime Mark Andrews numbers as of yet, but they're kind of up there. They're consistently in the teens. Erased the first week, especially when that thunderstorm threw everything out of whack and everybody had to re-stretch, re-warm themselves. He has a floor of 12.3 with the capability of getting a 20.4 ceiling, even in the low 20 type ceiling. Jake Ferguson is the number one tight end and priced rightly so. Then behind him is Tyler Warren, 68, just a little bit under him, Tucker Craft. Now, there might be a bit of a downgrade for Tucker Craft now that the injury reports are coming out. There's a chance he might get held out one more week, but there's a chance, like I said, when you have injuries to the various options of the Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson might be back. So when you have that, Tucker Craft is a solid tight end. He's a very good tight end, but he has more of a higher ceiling when there's less wide receivers getting in his way. Tucker Craft still is an option, but he just a peg down. But I still like all three top price tight ends for this week. As we keep going, he's basically on rest. He's still in the transition of getting into football in season shape. It is amazing that Darren Waller basically has what, 8 catches and 3 touchdowns. So almost half the time he catches the ball is for a score. And as you can see, with 2 weeks back to back of catching those TD passes, Dan Wall is now up to 6,000. He doesn't have the volume of a $6,000 tight end, but he has the fantasy output of a $6,000 tight end. So with a slate star for value, this is not a $5,000 Waller. Or when I said I kind of liked Waller, but I think he got ruled out week 1 with hip issues. He was, I think, 4-7 that week, maybe, or something in the beginning. He was like in the high fours, very low fives. Now with the touchdown equity, Darren Waller is out there. But like I said, he definitely needs to score because the volume isn't there. It's not there yet. Darren Waller's still resting his hip after playing still like 30s and 40s in the snap count. So for me personally, because of the output, no, the output for fantasy points, he's fine, but the volume is not there. If he can't get the touchdown equity, I don't think to me, he's still worth mid fives, but like I said, he's still an option. But as we keep going, my favorite mid priced for the tight end is Hunter Henry. Great matchup against the New Orleans Saints, who don't really defend the pass well. And tight ends, backup and starting tight ends from the 49ers from the beginning of the year, I should say, against the 49ers when there was no Kittle. Tonjes was still able to get some TD equity here and there. So Hunter Henry, definitely an option. And then, of course, he's basically the number 2 now that Stephon Diggs has really, it seems like he has fully recovered and now he has that burst. Because going into the season, I would obviously say that it was Hunter Henry. That's the number 1. But it's really now Stephon Diggs seems to have reclaimed that and become the number 1 receiver. But Hunter Henry still, he's 59, so that's a high volume pay down option in a way. Not pay down, but he's still good. 4 targets, 2 targets, 11, 3, and 8. As you can see, the target volume was kind of up there as Diggs was getting reincorporated. And now he's still getting goal line looks with the touchdowns and everything in the last 3 weeks, 3 touchdowns, but only 6 targets. Well, if you want to add the 11 targets Pittsburgh, but what does What do these numbers correlate? These numbers slightly went down, but he's still going to get the looks now that Stephon Diggs has pretty much soared to the number one, has soared to the number one option for Drake May. As we keep going down, this is probably the first time we're getting down this far. It's still kind of ugly, but like I said, you still got Tonjes, 56, still nice price. It's a coin flip, but because of how dink and dunk the Cleveland passing game really is, Njoku and Harold Fannin are fairly near each other, $5,700. So this is really a flip of the coin. Once again, I would probably say volume, David Njoku. If you're hoping for some decent numbers, and then like I said, this slate is starved for value. If you could fit Njoku, fine. But if you need a few extra, what is it, $400? If you need that, still getting 4 and 6 targets. The last game got a touchdown. You're probably gonna want to go Harold Fanning at 53. Even though I didn't really like it that much, the fact that he has his cohorts behind him, as in Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, he's still an option. Once again, we're starved for value. 5,200, Jawan Johnson. But I'm just mentioning him because he's somebody that's capable of at least doing some damage with limited, even with limited touches. As we keep going down here, I'm gonna be late to the party because who knows when Taysom Hill is gonna be able to take his QB options and play tight end and do all these other hybrid plays. So I don't know about that yet. Uh, there used to be a time that Pat Fryer moved, but now with the combination of him and Jonnu Smith, that's kind of like an even worst situation than what's going on in New Orleans. I'm still going to tout Kate Otten, even though if I didn't really do it last week. But Kate Otten, like I said, he's still an option there as long as they're still dealing with injuries. The only time you leave Kate Otten alone is when they have the full assessment of wide receivers. Mike Evans, like I said, probably won't be back till about, I'm going to say, with the way they're playing, they don't have to rush him back. Mike Evans probably won't come back till end of October, the earliest, with that hamstring, because he has had this same injury before and then re-aggravated it trying to come back. So Kate Otten's still viable. As we keep going down, I mean, I still gotta recommend it. Both of these guys, I don't think either guy has been at 5,000. And then, like I said, everybody grows. Everybody's ceiling pretty much grows into a very high output possibility of projections. Tommy Tremble or Jatavion Sanders. One is out, both is out. But if Jatavion does come back, he's the starter. Tremble's more the blocker. Because of the injury, he has more snaps on the field and gets more receiving opportunities. So either or at 46 or 45 is fine. Luke Farrell's another one, but Tonjes has really taken that over. And I mean, if I'm not gonna be a hypocrite on my own words, Aronde Gatson, 4,500 against a bad Miami defense. I'm wondering. Oh no, we don't have to worry about that. Will Dissly's back, so with Will Dissly back, that's an option. He just got cleared off the injury report, so he'll be taking back the starting reins. And yes, Will Dissly, 4,200. Interesting. At 42. Now the tight end is not getting any looks, but if you want a Hail Mary look, 42, get down in the end zone. Yes, Will Dissly can take advantage of linebackers and free safeties that are poor at coverage. So I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying go heavy on him. For me, as a 20 max player, I don't think I'm going to get to Will Dissly maybe even 5 times. He'll probably get sprinkled in 2 to 3 times. I can't even say a full handful. This is the first week of all seasons. If you've seen my videos before, this is the first week that I actually recommend paying up. There was a couple of people that I did like just under the second or third price tight end last week. But this is the first week where I'm absolutely without a doubt, recommending all 3 with a small asterisk to Tucker Craft if Christian Watson gets back. So let's go over the top options. Like I said, these 3 right here, there's no 1A, no 1B, no 1C. It is Jake Ferguson, and I think he's, as much as Tyler Warren doesn't get the touchdown equity, the way Jake Ferguson is, I think Tyler Warren should be even though he has played well, he shouldn't be that close to Jake Ferguson. Tyler Warren feels more like a $6,600 to $6,500 play to me, and I think Tucker Kraft should just be a tad lower than that. We get to the mid levels at 6,000. Yes, Waller, Hunter Henry, like I said, Njoku, Tonjes, and Harold Fanning, with a little love for Juwan Johnson. Many issues to go in the middle. And that's another thing. We could bring this up because Brendan Strange is part of the offense. They do throw to the tight end a bit. 4, 5, 7, and 7 targets to Brendan Strange. Got hurt last week's game. So if we could just scroll down a bit, then if anything, he's probably a mid-priced tight end. And we will be looking for, I should be able to find him soon. He should have been priced up, possibly. I'm just wasting time right now. Now that we have that, and now there's more injury news coming. Yeah, more than likely Hunter Long at 4,200. And there you go. Hunter Long right there, 4,200. The tight end is something, and he has a good matchup with Seattle. Hunter Long, I'll probably have more Hunter Long than Will Dissly. With Will Dissly, you're hoping he gets the targets. With Hunter Long, you're probably expecting anywhere from 4 to 7. And he could possibly do something with that at home against Seattle. Jacksonville probably has a little oomph inside of them with that big win against Kansas City at home. And that is the end of the tight end preview. I'm going to be working on the defensive video next. Thank you for tuning in. One more video to go for week 6, and good luck with your research. This is your boy Grady Fantasy, signing off. Please do not forget, like and subscribe.